Now, if you're assembling a bike or putting together a packaged set of brakes, chances are it came with a pre-cut set of housing. If not, you could always contact your local bike shop and ask them how to measure or to cut this housing. But this one is all set to go. And on this step, I'm going to just run the cable into the housing. And kind of thread that in there. Just like that. Right up into the brake lever. And now the cable is going to run through this first boss here on the top of the frame. Now, some frame manufacturers will have the boss elsewhere on the side or even lower down on the tube for older bikes. So I'm going to thread this right into the boss, just like that. And that'll sit right in there, nice and smooth. And now before I run the cable all the way to the back of the bike, I'm going to put on these little protective donuts. And they come in a stack, just like that. And those will go right onto the cable. Just kind of press on, and they fit really snug. Now those donuts are there so that as the cable is bouncing around on the frame, or if you rub the cable, they're designed to help protect the cable from scratching the frame. So now that I have them on, I'm spreading them apart. Just like that. Space them out. So now if the cable were to hit the frame, it saves the paint. Heading toward the back here, I'm running the cable through another boss. Just like that. And that's what the cable will look like as you are setting up the brake. And now I'll move to the back and I'll show you how to run it through the brake noodle. So back to the rear of the bike, back to the brakes with a pre-cut set of housing. And this is the brake noodle. We're going to start by threading the cable into that piece of housing, which will go right to the rear brake boss, just like that. Now we're going to put the noodle on, starting with the barrel end. Run it through. And some good quality brake noodles, a little bit of grease will come out the end. They're pre-greased so the cable will run smoothly inside. The grease that comes out the end, I kind of grab with my finger and I put back on the cable to make sure that it all stays in there. And again, I'm just threading that cable into the noodle. And the noodle will fit right over the end of that housing like a cable cap. Just like that. And now I'm going to move the bike and we'll get a better angle and I can show you how to hook the brake wire up. All right, through the magic of video editing, the bike is turned around and we're looking at the rear again. On this step, I'm going to show you how to get the cable lined up into the lock nut and setting up that brake noodle. So we're going to start by getting at the end of the cable and then just getting it under that lock nut, kind of threading it through, and at the same time we're just going to get that noodle situated right in this little bracket here. Now you can start to see the brake starting to take shape. I'm going to introduce another tool that you can use to help you hold the cable tight. Or in some cases, you can just hold it with your fingers and then tighten this nut here. But the tool that I'll introduce is called a fourth hand brake tool. And it's this ratchety thing here. And what this does is it will grab the cable, will pull it tight, and actually lock it in place for you. So to do that, you can see where I'm getting the cable right into this little slot here. And then if I start pulling, you see the brakes come together. And that will just hold the cable tight for me. Now, most shops have this tool. Most consumers don't. So I'm only showing you this so you know that it's out there, and if you need help, it is there. So getting rid of the tool, I'm going to choose to do this by holding it with my hand. And then back to our little Allen wrench. I'm just going to tighten down that lock nut. Just going to get it snug so I can make sure the brakes are going to be tight enough. Now I'm going to try to move the rim. A little bit of rubbing going on. So they're a little too tight. So I'll back that off just a little. See that rim move? So I'm pretty comfortable with that. I think that would be the right adjustment we want. Again, I'll snug it up just a little. I'm not tightening it down fully right yet. And now I'm going to depress the lever and see how these work. Okay, I'm going to go just a little tighter because they're coming away from the rim a little too much. Now I'm going to depress the handle again and see if that helped.